I think we should switch it over as well, so just so the image isn't, backwards. Either way, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me for today's episode of the Professor and Ditto Show. My name is Professor. This is my assistant Ditto, and yes, my hair is as crazy as it looks. But we're not here to talk about my hair. No, we are here to talk about a little show that it is no secret that a lot of people like this show. I happen to be one of them. I've heard both sides of the argument. There are a lot of people who argue that The Mandalorian is a terrible show, that it's not very good, that it's poorly paced, that the characters don't make any sense, that they're very flat. These are all real arguments that you can hear from people here on YouTube and even on TikTok, which we are also streaming on at the moment. But I've also heard the other side of the argument, the complete and total fan geeks who are just absolutely obsessed with anything and everything that comes out of The Mandalorian, because Star Wars hasn't had a lot of good content over the last 8 years or so. It's been kind of, hit or miss. Mandalorian, meanwhile, seems to be their one glimmer of hope that Star Wars is indeed not a dead franchise. Not like Doctor Who or Steven Universe or Star versus the Forces of Evil are considered dead franchises by any means, or dead universes. So, that's what I wanted to talk about today, because you guys seem to be interested in it. I'm certainly interested in it. And whether or not people are tuned in to hear my opinions on such a thing, I don't really care. I appreciate all of you for the first episode, because there's only one episode out at the time of recording this. What is today? Today is the 30th. It is Halloween Eve. And relax, moderators and administrators out there, this is merely my Pokedex. So that's the argument I'm going with anyway. Again, seriously, thank you guys so much for tuning in, though, to this episode of the Professor and Ditto Show. Hey, yo, Liz, welcome. I will be focusing primarily on YouTube, so if you guys would like to join me on that platform, please feel free. That's the chat I will be looking at. I'll be looking at TikTok every once in a while, but this is the primary chat that I'll be paying attention to. So that being said, let's just hop right into it. So a little background. I'm a little bit more partial to other franchises out there, namely Pokemon, a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh, a little bit of Digimon, but Star Wars is, something I've grown up with. It's something I'm a little passionate about. I'm fairly passionate about it. But when it comes to The Mandalorian, I was extraordinarily skeptical when the first episode of the first season dropped. I didn't see anything special about it, and I don't see why anyone had a reason to see anything special about Mandalorian season 1. And at least first started, I was a lot like other Star Wars fans at the time. I'm not a huge fan. I don't consider myself a huge fan, but I definitely know my Star Wars lore. And Disney had messed up everything up until that point. Then The Mandalorian came out and it kept going. Hey, MaxPat, welcome. Mandalorian episode 1 dropped, then episode 2, then 3, and then 4. And holy crap, Bill Barr is in this show. Holy crap, all these other people are in this show. Holy crap, this show is actually, it feels like a Star Wars product. It doesn't feel like some weird fan fiction, like a battle between Rian Johnson and, I don't know, J.J. Watt or whatever the heck the other guy's name is. Like, it's just an absolute, it feels like a real Star Wars product. So that was very refreshing. And I think that's part of the reason why The Mandalorian was so, worshipped, for lack of a better term, by a lot of Star Wars fans, because it was quite literally the only solid piece of Star Wars media. The Clone Wars has had its fair share of ups and downs, I will admit. It's been, I will say that I kind of enjoy the Clone Wars. I'm probably going to make some people upset just for saying that I kind of enjoy it. I see the plot lines. I like the characters for the most part. It's purely, if I could judge it based on how it looks, I think it looks awful. I've never gotten over how the Clone Wars looks. I love the characters. I love that they tried to flesh out the characters more. I like that it takes what the prequels had and it runs with it and it does its own thing at times. Like, there's even a Godzilla style episode that I actually thought was kind of funny. It doesn't make any sense, of course, but I appreciate that they actually went for it. But holy crap, the looks. If you guys know what the Clone Wars is based off of, again, I'm saying this. Hello, Moochmon. Hello, Blaze the Man, Max, Pat, Liz. Of course, you guys are always welcome here. But if you guys have heard my thoughts on Star Wars before, you guys know that I am a huge fan of the Clone Wars. I guess there were 2 mini episodes. It was supposed to be like a TV show. It was like a pitch for a TV show, and that's very apparent if you watch it. Everyone's got really pointed edges. It's very two-dimensional, but the action is just so over the top. But it's got that beautiful Star Wars prequels flair. That's just it just works very, very well. I think more so than it does in the original prequel films. So I'm a huge fan of that. I love it when it just commits. But when the Clone Wars first came out, they literally copied and pasted the same models, but took the Dungeon Master. Thank you, my dude. Thank you so very much. I know that your username is on here, but in case anyone isn't aware, anyone who donates, I don't care what amount it is, anything at all, you could donate 1 penny. Your username will be added to my list of sponsors behind me. So thank you very, very much for that. Copy and pasted the Samurai Jack models, except made them 3D. And especially in those first couple seasons, when you watch the Clone Wars, that's why every fan of the Clone Wars always says, oh, it gets better as it goes on. It gets better as it goes on. Trust me. Just stick it out. Just stick with it. It's the first 3 seasons, whatever, but just stick it out. I promise it gets better. It gets more fluid. They start doing their own thing. Here's the thing, though. I shouldn't have to wait 3 seasons in order for a show to get good, especially if it's freaking Star Wars. I mean, I really think the art style is the biggest thing. It's certainly my biggest nitpick with the Clone Wars overall. Again, I still enjoy the show. I love the characters. I love what they did. I love the few times that they did it. I mean, why would you just copy and paste the Samurai Jack models? Just do your own thing. Come up with your own. I don't care if everyone's just a giant bubble. They got to have something better. It's freaking Star Wars. You're telling me that it's literally something. Oh, okay. I saw that. Thank you, Dungeon Master. Thank you. By the way, new format over on TikTok for all those people over there. But anyway, I love the Clone Wars as much as I can. I do not love its art style. So again, going back to the Mandalorian was such a nice breath of fresh air. And now we have season 2. Season 2 has arrived. I just watched the first episode. That's part of the reason that this show is so late. Normally I stream earlier in the day on a Friday. But yeah, today I decided to sit down with, some of the other folks that live here in the Lab in the Sky. And by folks, I mean my Pokemon. I'm not lonely. You're lonely. Anyway, we sat down and we watched Mandalorian season 2, episode 1. And I will be covering spoilers. So if anybody doesn't want any spoilers for The Mandalorian season 2, then this is not the show for you. If you don't care, if you're like me and you'll absorb every spoiler you can without actually seeing the product for yourself because you don't really care at the end of the day, all you care is you will care if it turns out to be good. But as far as spending your own money goes, I mean, it has been said that, it has been said that the only decisions that really matter are the decisions you make with your wallet. I think that's a complete fallacy of an argument, if I ever did hear one. But even so, that's the kind of logic that Hollywood lives off of. So, I mean, if in Hollywood's eyes, they themselves are what is most important. So rather than paying them, let's try and humble them a little bit and just go ahead and settle for my opinion for now. Although I highly encourage that you check out this first episode, at least this first episode, whatever direction the show goes from this point on. I actually enjoyed this first episode, and I'll tell you why. 2 little words: Boba Fett. Boba Fett is back, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, anyone who's been keeping up with the confetti, dude, thank you, Dungeon Master. I appreciate that very much. Thank you so very much. But Boba Fett. So you guys may or may not have heard of him. He's kind of like this big deal bounty hunter. He's kind of a fan favorite. He looks fantastic. Of course, his design is what the Mandalorian. Yeah, it just it kind of. I'll answer that in a second, man. Just bear with me for a second because I really got to talk about this. There are a lot of people who are curious. What is the Mandalorian season 2 like? Well, we were just going off of this first episode. I think it's looking in a positive direction. There was a lot of anxiety going. I don't know how much you guys have kept up with the news. Hopefully not at all, because the news is absolute trash, all of it. But if you're an unfortunate person like me, who is chronically addicted to looking at the news every once in a while, at least, or at least hearing other people's opinions on said news, then you too, much like Solo, much like Rogue One, much like the sequel films, has had some problems backstage. This is to be expected. This is Star Wars. It's a $4 billion, at least a 4. I don't know how much it's worth today, but when Lucasfilm, or when Disney first acquired Lucasfilm, it was worth about $4 billion. Just the name Star Wars, just itself. That's what they paid overall for Star Wars and everything in dollars. It may have gone up. It may have going to be executives who want to come in and add, safety foam and bubble wrap to everything to make sure that it's padded and protected so that all audiences can enjoy it at least a little bit, especially the ones in China. But this is the treatment that The Mandalorian Season 2, at least this is what was rumored, this is the treatment that The Mandalorian Season 2 has been getting. That was very upsetting for a lot of fans, because the thing that made The Mandalorian so unique was that it felt like it hadn't been touched by the grubby hands over at Lucasfilm. It felt like if there had been any involvement from Disney, it had been minuscule at best. It felt like The Mandalorian was its own little bubble, its own little pocket of the Star Wars universe. And from that pocket grew its own separate Star Wars fandom. And Dungeon Master, you're an absolute legend. Thank you so much for that, my dude. Absolutely amazing. Yes, episode 1 is out. I highly encourage you to go watch it for yourself if you don't really care about spoilers, and stick around. By the way, Boba Fett is back. Haha, sorry, I ruined it for you. Who cares? We all knew he was coming back. Again, if you kept up with the news, you already know that Boba Fett is coming back. You already know that Ahsoka is coming back. You already know that there have been a lot. This is the most important one. There have been a lot. This is the most important one. There have been a lot of problems backstage. Namely, the head actor for The Mandalorian, the guy who was also in Game of Thrones for a little bit, who was like a weird, sexy man pole dancer dude. I don't even know. I haven't seen Game of Thrones. I don't care. But that guy, the actor who portrays The Mandalorian, got really, really upset because he is an actor. He is an actor. He likes it when people can recognize his face. His face is what pulls people in to the products he is attached to. And as an actor, you want yourself to be out there as much as possible if you're someone who relies on your looks. If you're like the guy from The Shape of Water, who basically just plays creatures, who you really never get to see his real face, then it wouldn't really matter. I think The Mandalorian would be a perfect role for an actor like that guy. Not that I like The Shape of Water. I still think it's an abomination against the human race. Even more than Cats 2019. You can quote me on that one. Gosh dang. Have you seen The Shape of Water? Don't. I encourage you not to see The Shape of Water, because that is an abomination of a film. Cats 2019 is still bad. Don't get me wrong, but holy crap, The Shape of Water is just so much worse. You've got people pretending to be cats, and then you've got fish bestiality. But that's a discussion for another day. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe you guys will ask me about it a little bit later on. Back to The Mandalorian. The head actor of The Mandalorian, hello, Skitty Skull, he's wanted more FaceTime. But the problem is, the thing that makes The Mandalorian so cool isn't the guy underneath. It might be his voice a little bit, but it's more so the armor. That's kind of The Mandalorian's thing, is to never take off the armor. That's what they do. So why on earth would Jon Favreau and the other guys working on The Mandalorian give the head actor more FaceTime, more screen time? That goes against the character itself. So understandably, they came in an impasse. And last we heard, before episode 1 came out, the head actor had walked out of The Mandalorian. He had just up and quit on the spot. They hadn't even finished shooting yet. It's a bit of a problem. At least it would be if it wasn't The Mandalorian. Now, the nice thing is he can basically phone in his performance. Like, they don't need him necessarily. They don't need the head Mandalorian guy. They can get someone else to read over his lines, someone who sounds just like him. They can get a stunt double of the live stream as soon as we're done talking about The Mandalorian Season 2. So let's talk about that episode 1, shall we? Because, oh my goodness, Boba Fett is back, ladies and gentlemen. He is absolutely back. Well, at least his armor is. Don't worry, the actual Boba Fett guy, he shows up at the end. It's not quite a post-credit scene, but it's as the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda, the child, are, going away from the thing that they did that I'll talk about here in a second. And it turns out Boba Fett's alive, apparently. We don't know for sure that it is Boba Fett, but it is certainly the actor who portrayed Jango Fett in the prequel. I assume he lent his voice to Disney's reimaginings of the sequel trilogy. Man, have you guys heard Boba Fett of all 3 of the original trilogy films? I grew up watching them. I'm grateful that I have them. And you hear Boba Fett's voice in those versus the it's basically Jango Fett's voice, and there's such a difference. Like this, the original. I'm not like a hardcore OG Star Wars fan or anything, but the original voice is just so much better for the overall performance. The other one sounds phoned in. And that being said, it's that guy, the Jango Fett, the original actor for Jango Fett, who makes an appearance at the end of episode 1 of The Mandalorian season 2. He portrays, I assume it is Boba Fett. Now the big question is in this episode, how did Boba Fett lose his armor? Because the story goes, I'm giving you guys a very, very paraphrased version. Oh, thank you for stopping by. It's always great seeing you, 707. Seriously, more power to you. But the basic gist of this episode is the Mandalorian still has the child with him, and he's still running odd jobs because you got to pay the bills. You got to be able to afford fuel. You got to be able to, I don't know, keep the shine on that armor because dang, you know that boy be polishing. But anyway, cringe. This is a nice little cringe for you guys. Hopefully you guys got a little cringe out of that. Anyway, so the Mandalorian is doing odd jobs, and he finds himself on Mos Eisley. I believe he's on Tatooine because there are sand people in this episode. There's farmers. There's other people who are reminiscent of Tatooine. I've only seen the episode once, guys. All right, I had to get a quick view in before I came over onto the live stream. So thank you. I appreciate all the love and support we've gotten. Seriously, thank you guys so very much for that. If you haven't already, join the Snom Gang. Subscribe and follow us for more content. I usually do skits. I don't usually report on stuff like this, but hey, it's the Mandalorian season 2, and that's going to grab some attention. So might as well get on that. Anyway, yeah, the poor Mandalorian still out working hard. Just because you defeat some Empire thugs, that doesn't mean everyone just smiles and rides off into the sunset. He's still got to pay the bills, and he's still got the child hanging out with him. So what are you going to do about that? So he's just working, winds up on Mos Eisley, and lo and behold, there's freaking Boba Fett in the front door staring him down. Psych, it's not Boba Fett, it's just a guy wearing Boba Fett's armor. A guy who escaped some kind of like thug raiding of Mos Eisley, and he was rescued by some Jawas, and the Jawas, he had like this cooler thing. Apparently it's like a meme among Star Wars fans. Are there any like hardcore Star Wars fans out there? Anyone? Let me know. If you are a hardcore Star Wars fan, riddle me this. What is the deal with like the ice cream machine thing? It's like a white cooler is what this guy is holding. Apparently that's like a thing among Star Wars fans. Like I've never seen that before. I think it showed up a little bit in The Empire Strikes Back. Like a guy is holding one as he's running away, but like I don't know the significance of those. I don't really care. It just kind of happens. Anyway, the guy who escaped the raid on Mos Eisley, he has one of these things. It has some like, I don't know, purple crystals, infinity stone, whatever things inside it. And he gives it to the Jawas in exchange for an item that they had recently picked up, or several items, which was Boba Fett's armor and his original blaster. So they pick it up. And, it's a joke about how hot the suit is. How hot is the suit? Oh, the suit is fine. I am absolutely okay. Got my fan going for once. This light is much less hot than normal, but I appreciate it. And Boba Fett is just always thrown under the bus. Have you guys noticed that? Especially in the Clone Wars. This is another problem I have with the Clone Wars. Absolutely poop all over the character of Boba Fett. I get it. It's young Boba Fett, but why you got to poop all over my dude over here? This is literally the guy who is responsible for the Mandalorians. Like, this is who, like, writers and directors based the entire Mandalorian group. Boba Fett is who Dave Filoni looked at with knee pads or anything like that. It's mostly just the guy who wears basically a red onesie underneath, and then he wears the Boba Fett armor, which still works, by the way, because it's freaking Mandalorian armor. Of course it's still going to work. But, yeah, he gets it. Hey, Clueless, welcome. He teams up with this guy because apparently there's a little thing, it's a something dragon that is threatening to... dragons, by the way, that's not a name that's used lightly in Star Wars canon. One of the many things that I always found appealing about Star Wars, and I think it kind of is obvious why, I always liked how there were giant... he has boots. Okay, good. Thank you. He does have the boots then. All right. He must not have... I could have sworn Boba Fett had some kind of like thigh pads and knee pads or something. I don't know. Anyway, The Mandalorian and this guy team up because there's this dragon, and one of the many things that makes Star Wars so appealing is the fact that there's giant freaking monsters. You guys remember the giant worm that nearly ate them, or that did eat the Millennium Falcon until they flew out of it? And there's the monsters on Hoth. There's tons of really, really cool, giant, dangerous monsters in the Star Wars universe and Star Wars canon. And even more so if you read any of the Clone Wars comic books or anything like that, which I loved those Clone Wars comic books, which predates the Clone Wars TV show, by the way. But anyway, by a number of years. So there's this sand dragon thing that threatens all life basically in Mos Eisley. So the Mandalorian gets hired and he works with Discount Boba Fett over here, and they in turn gather up some of the Mos Eisley residents who then work alongside via the Mandalorian. Sand people get involved. They all team up and they take on this dragon thing. Now, I'm not going to tell you much about the actual dragon. All I can say is that I swore when it first showed up, I swore that it was Garchomp. I thought it was just a giant Garchomp. When it finally peeked its head out of that sand, when they finally started taking it on, I was like, oh my gosh, it's just a giant Garchomp. Seriously, this dragon thing that Mandalorian and Discount Boba Fett are shooting at, it just looks like a giant Garchomp. Swimming through the sand, minding its own business, and it's melting people. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, there's the dragon bed. Okay. It's melting people. All right. Well, this thing's cool. I'm going to get a Pokeball out and I'm going to catch it now. At least that's how it would have gone down if I had been there. But we all know that wouldn't have been nearly as cool as Boba Fett or Discount Boba Fett and the Mandalorian taking it on side by side. So anyway, that happens. Of course, they're victorious in the end, but it is a fantastic fight for a, I don't want to say it's a low budget TV show. It's not. The Mandalorian's got quite a number of millions backing it up, if I do say so myself. But yeah, the fight is fantastic. And then, as I said, we end the episode on a surprise. Mandalorian and the child are speeding away on their speeder bike. And we see this figure with his back to the camera. Hello. And he's like really bald. He's wearing a red tunic. He's got a sand person wood stick thing and a giant rifle. You don't see him. And then he stops and turns around. And lo and behold, holy crap, it's Jango Fett. I mean, I guess that's Boba Fett then. We don't really know. The guy just kind of appears and then the episode ends. And that's all we get. Holy crap, what an episode. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. And I loved that we got to see at least discount Boba Fett alongside the Mandalorian. My biggest questions are, hello, Scallop. Welcome to the live stream. My biggest question going into episode 2, I'm not entirely sure when episode 2 comes out. I will let you guys know my thoughts, if you actually care, on it as soon as I get around to it. So I thought overall the episode was just downright solid. Thank you, Dungeon Master. Thank you for the fire. Thank you for the fire. But yeah, seriously, thank you so very much for that. It means the world to us. Anyone who donates gets their username added to my sponsor list right back here. This is anyone who has ever donated at any point, whether it be here to my Patreon, whatever. You have shown financial interest in what Ditto and I are doing. That means the world to us. So thank you. Financial interest in what Ditto and I are doing. That means the world to us. So thank you. Gosh, strawberry coat. Give me a sec. Hold on. What is your username? Strawberry goats. Holy crap. I'm just going to have to write here. Strawberry goats. There you go. Your username is on here. Holy crap. I almost knocked my image of Jesus down. That wouldn't have been very good of me, would it? All right. There we go. Okay. It's up. Thank you, Strawberry Goats. That is absolutely ridiculous. I really want to freak out and like get up and move around, but I have so many wires these days that I would probably break everything. And as funny as that would be for you guys, would not be very funny for me. And honestly, my opinion comes first because this is my show. But anyway, thank you so very much. Where is your gun? It's right here, bro. Just take it, seriously. And it's not a gun, it's a Pokedex, all right? It can act as a gun, it's still a Pokedex. Cool your butts. Anyway, my biggest question going in is that actually Boba Fett? I would dare say, let's do it again. The official ramen guy? All right, then. Well, thank you. The official, where am I going to put it? I'm just going to have to write over Ditto Show. The official. Let me make sure I'm writing it correctly. The official. And there we go. Your username is, I believe, at the top now. Seriously, thank you so very much for that. What if a Pokemon could fuse? Dude, I'm still waiting on that feature. I think that'd be great. Biggest question going into Mandalorian Episode 2. Hey, DCMB, welcome. Is that actually Boba Fett? And will he get his armor back? I don't know. I would like to see that. And my biggest question as of now for the entire show is, where the heck is the dude that had the Darksaber? But that's all I wanted to say on The Mandalorian Season 2 for now. If you guys want me to really dig in to my honest thoughts on Star Wars overall, then by all means, let me know. Until someone actually asks, I am now at your guys' mercy. Put forth your questions. But before I do, MaxPat brought up a really important thing. So I'm doing a costume contest. So I have some custom-made what the heck is that? What the Dungeon Master? Thank you. Dungeon Master's username is already up here, but so I won't add it again. But thank you. Oh my gosh, that looked cool. I don't know what that was, but that looked really freaking cool. Okay, anyway, custom Pokemon cards. I made this. I designed this myself. I 3D printed it. Everything you see is hand done. This is my QR code for TikTok and Instagram on here. And also, Shoto Todoroki. There you go, my dude. Also, my YouTube username is on here as well, because a lot of people have a hard time finding me. And as far as I can tell, there's no QR code for YouTube for some reason. Seriously, YouTube, you should get on that. That would make it so easy. I think YouTube would become a little bit more easy to access if you guys came up with some kind of QR code. Maybe there is one and I just don't know about it. Anyway, so lost my connection. That's fantastic. It says that I lost my connection with everybody over on TikTok. So I don't know who I'm talking to. I'll just keep talking to everybody here on TikTok. My favorite Gen 3 Pokemon? That's a really good question. My favorite Gen 3 Pokemon is Salamence, obviously. I have one of my fans who I love very, very much, came up with this bad boy right here. Oh, good. Good connection again. All right. Sorry about that, guys. It just completely died on me for a second. But this right here is my favorite Gen 3 Pokemon because Salamence is a boss. And I love his backstory. And I have done many a video on why he is so good. Dungeon Master, thank you, my dude. Oh, my goodness. Oh, sorry, Ditto. He'll be okay. No, he won't be okay. He'll kill me. All right, just stay up there. Try not to fall down, and please don't hurt me. Here is your hat. Thank you, Liz, by the way. Liz Draws for doing this. Seriously, thank you so very much. Soggy Cards, welcome. Glad to see you. So I'm doing a costume contest. Anyone who cosplays as me, please go into my TikTok profile and find the video that's about the costume contest. All entries need to be closed off by tomorrow. If you can successfully cosplay myself and Ditto, then the winners will get their cosplays will be made into custom. Has so many problems, but apparently TikTok's the one dying off today. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Dungeon Master. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Anyway, yeah, the winners get made into custom Pokemon cards that I will mail to you. Why does the connection keep dying? What the heck is going on? I don't know. I'm just going to keep going. So yeah, go over to my TikTok account, and if you join the contest, I will make you into a Pokemon card. If you win, tomorrow is the last day to enter the contest, so do it while you can. All right, that's all I can say. Find the video on my TikTok page. It's really easy to find. It says costume contest over the front of it. Cosplay as Ditto with myself, and you will have just be sure to use the sound, of course. And as soon as you do that, be sure to tag Ditto and I in your video. And if you win, we will notify you and make you into a Pokemon card. So there you go. My money's saved alive. Dude, I believe it. I believe it. This TikTok is so wonky. But I have noticed that if a live stream is particularly profitable, then no matter what's going on, TikTok seems to allow it to exist. So I don't know what that means, but anyway, there you go. I guess money is the root of all live streaming or something. Anyway, Imperium is a Melmetal fusion. I believe it. Sounds pretty cool. Should Jinx get a Mega Evolution? Oh, okay. Let me tell you about Mega Evolutions for a second. I almost said Involutions. Evolutions, a little dyslexic. Mega Evolutions are trash. They're really good trash, though. It's kind of like ramen noodles. Everyone knows that ramen noodles are not good for you. No matter what kind of veggies you throw in there, ramen noodles are going to contribute to your death to some degree. All right, they are definitely going to cholesterol to spike. They're going to pump your veins full of extra sugar, all kinds of extra chemicals, depending on what kind you get. But that doesn't mean that we can't, we have to stop loving it. Like, seriously. Oh, I love ramen to death. I hope they bury me with ramen in my casket because I just love that stuff. I don't live off of it by any means, but oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. It's fantastic. I had the second spiciest ramen available commercially the other night, and I gotta say, it hasn't fully hit me yet. I won't go too far into it. Should Ditto get an evolution? That's a good question, Soggy Cards, but I'll get to that here in a second. Mega evolutions are great. They are they're terrible. They break the game in so many different ways, and I love them. Please bring them back. Please bring them back, Pokemon. I don't know how we can incorporate Mega evolutions into Gigantamaxing and all that, but please bring it back. I love it, especially my boy Salamence. And can Ditto get a Mega evolution? I think that'd be fantastic. I mean, going back to tying it into Soggy Card's question, should Ditto get an evolution? I've mentioned this before. Ditto did have an evolution. At least it was planned originally. I think it was for Gen 2. Was it Gen 2? I could be totally wrong. It was for Gen 2. I want to say there is official artwork of it. You can find it by data mining. I don't recommend that you do this, but if you data mine the original, I want to say gold and silver. Yeah, the original, not heart gold and soul silver, just gold and silver. If you data mine those games, you will find a beta sprite for an evolution of Ditto, and it looks hideous, and I hate it, and I don't think it's very cool. It looks like Ditto with a unicorn horn, but it's not even that. It's just like a little spike, and he's going like that's the face he's making. Take a screenshot of this. That's what it looks like. Except imagine a big horn. It's like a cartoon, like Tom and Jerry when they get hit on the head and they have that big thing that comes out. That's what it looks like. It's kind of disappointing. What did you think of your entries? Well, I won't give any definitive answers, Max Pat, but you're definitely in the running to win. It doesn't take much to cosplay Ditto and I. All right, all you need is basically a lab coat and probably one of these. And if you have a Pokeball, I certainly do. Then that'll help your case as well. But seriously, guys, get in on the competition. It's not going to take much to get you into the competition, and you'll never know if you win until you join the competition. You'll never know until you try. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I could make that easily. Yeah, you could. Seriously. Hariyama versus Snorlax. Oh, all right. I like this. Snorlax. Or I like the versus thing. So Hariyama, I believe Hariyama would win. For anyone who doesn't know, Snorlax is the fat one. Hariyama is the sumo wrestler one with like the big... do they have Ninja Turtle hands? I think he has... Or is it 3? I can't tell. I think it's 2. He has like the Ninja Turtle hands. And... yeah, I definitely more of a fighter. Snorlax seems more of like a passive kind of fighter, and yeah, I don't know. Of the two of them, I would say that Hariyama is probably going to win. Hariyama is a dual fighting type. Oh, okay, I saw that. Sorry if that was loud, by the way. Sorry to everybody on YouTube. I don't mean to make this loud. Okay, I saw that. It's... Oh, crap. All right. Well, I get to put that username on my list of sponsors now. So let's see. How do you say this? Suki Senpai, but with a T in front of it. It's like Tsunami. You're going crazy over there. Thank you. Let me add you to my list of sponsors. It's T Suki. What was it? T Suki Senpai with 2 I's. All right. Let's do that. Senpai. There you go. Your username is now above I'm Always Sleepy, right next to Moonlight the Umbreon. So there you go. Oh, heck yeah. Suki Senpai. I don't know what the heck that means in Japanese, but, well, I have some idea, but Tsuki Shama? Oh, that's what it is. Well, it's got Senpai in it. You're close, Max Pat. You're very, very close. I love going between 2 platforms, by the way. Air, have a good day, man. Thank you. You're a legend. You're an absolute legend. Seriously. Thank you so very much. It's because of, literally, we've seen this so far. Dungeon Master just brought this up. It's because of your guys' help, your financial help, that this show, this live stream show, is able to go on. Without your guys' help, TikTok would surely have taken away my ability to live stream by now. I don't know how many creators you guys know. If I can be just a little serious, if I can, take off the glasses for a second here, because believe it or not, I actually don't need these to see. If I can be completely serious for a second, there are a lot. I'm talking to you, TikTok, specifically, and all of you guys on YouTube as well, because you guys know what Tik is. And I know you guys over on YouTube, some of you have very strong feelings against it. Some of you have very strong feelings for it. I'm not exactly in the middle. I think that TikTok can be a good thing if it's used wisely and somewhat ironically. But seriously, TikTok, not cool. I'm talking to the admin specifically. I am Max Skyrunner and Toki Joestar are two very, very fine gentlemen. Real Moist 8, I think is his username, is another very, very fine gentleman. All three of them are hysterical. One, I am Max Skyrunner, is an anime cosplayer. He's fantastic. He just did a cosplay recently. I don't know how many of you guys are following him, but he dressed up as Rem from ReZero, and he danced in a subway. And it was so funny that the subway employees came out and danced with him in his video. Toki Joestar has a lot of problems on his plate, but he still finds time to make jokes, to check out really cool documentaries, and he plays the handpan. Fantastic man. Going for it, Dungeon Master. Thank you so, so very much. Real Moist 8 has the funniest, no cap, funniest history memes that he makes on a daily basis. Out of all of them I've seen, I follow a lot of different profiles that do history memes. His are the funniest, hands down. And they're not strictly leaning one way or another politically. They're just history memes, and they're fantastic. All three of those gentlemen, what do they have in common besides being gentlemen? All three of them are banned for life from streaming on TikTok. Because when TikTok was updating its, or I guess, again, I'm addressing the admins here. When you guys were updating your system that automatically scans every single live stream for inappropriate content, whatever, it had plenty of bugs, obviously. It had plenty of bugs. And there were these three gentlemen who have never done, as far as I can tell, and I tune into every single live stream, or I had tuned into every single live stream that they had ever done to that point. All three of them are still, as of now, it's been 6 months. I think longer than that. It's been like 7 or 8 now, because we're at the end of October. 7 or 8 months. These gentlemen, let's call it inappropriate content. All three of them are okay. They're fine. There is no reason to keep them permanently banned. Allow some of you over at the TikTok headquarters. They've gotten in contact with some of you guys. They're completely respectful. They understand that running an entire streaming service that also doubles as a front for other things, it's tough. It takes up a lot of space. It takes up a lot of time. They understand that. They have not been hostile whatsoever. If you could please, I beg you, the admins over at TikTok, please look into Toki Joestar, look into I am Max Skyrunner, and look into Real Moist. Again, I think there's an 8 on the end of his username for some reason, because apparently Real Moist was taken. But look into these three gentlemen, look at the content that they're producing, look at how many views and follows and shares that they rake in with everything that they post. Look into these gentlemen. You will find so quickly that they not only deserve the opportunity to begin live streaming again, because permanently banned for something they didn't do seems kind of harsh. I get it. It's different cultures or whatever. All three of these gentlemen, I believe, live in America currently. But seriously, like, just give these men another chance, please. They are fantastic content creators. I speak with all of them on a one-to-one basis on a regular. I don't know any of them in real life outside of this wonderful world on the internet that we have to take part in. But seriously, just get in contact with them. They're open to hearing from you. They would love nothing more than to take the necessary action to gain that ability to stream back. So please, I know the privilege is there. I know it's as simple as going into your computers and just pressing a button. It really is that easy. Please, TikTok, consider doing so. Okay, the glasses are back on. I am officially back in character. So going over to Pokemon related questions. How many of you have finished the Crown Tundra is what I would ask, because I finished it recently. And I got to say, I have never, in the amount of time, Sword and Shield haven't been out that long, but in the year or so that Sword and Shield have been around, I have never struggled so much to catch Pokemon as I have with the, namely the Regis. No, not the Regis, the Swords of Justice. Swords of Justice were a pain in my side. All right? Terrakion, not so much. Virizion and not Keldeo. Keldeo was, whatever. Virizion, though, and Cobalion. I don't know if I'm saying them correctly, but the steel one and the grass one, that is, oh my gosh. I went through hundreds of Pokeballs. Ultra Balls, Dusk Balls, Premier Balls, regular Pokeballs, Dive Balls. You guys want to know what I eventually... Here, let me bring it up here. let me show you what eventually I had to catch the Swords of Justice in. Pardon me. Did you get a good angle of my send armpit pics or something? I don't know. Is that a kink that people have? It probably is. I don't care. Please don't actually do that. But if you actually are interested in sending me anything, then do it over Instagram. There's my code right there. Hopefully you guys can see that. There it is for everyone over on YouTube as well. You know, just hit me up on YouTube. It's or not just YouTube. Subscribe and like if you're here. But yeah, hit me up on Instagram if you guys really want to send me something. But let me show you guys well, I won't show you because apparently there's a rule against having a camera or a screen visible. But let's just go in here. I believe I have them. I don't know what it is, but I mean, Cobalion isn't an ice-related area. The water is right there. Maybe he just wants a little bit of that ocean breeze to go with him wherever I decide to take him next. But I caught Cobalion in a fetching dive ball. A dive ball. Really? Really, Pokemon? It gets better. That's just Cobalion. So we got Terrakion, Cobalion, Verizon Wireless, as we'll call him. He's actually my favorite. I like the grass one better. I have a little thing of him on my keychain, if I remember correctly. Not that I drive very often, but you know, I like to be hip too. I have a little keychain. Anyway, Virizion, same thing. Hated Ultra Balls, hated Dusk Balls, hated every other kind of ball out there. He didn't even like dive balls. No. You want to know what the green guy, the tall guy, really wanted? You want to know what his favorite Pokeball was and what he eventually settled for? I'll tell you what it was. It was a freaking Premier Ball. This is what I caught Cobalion in. Or excuse me, Virizion. I caught Verizon Wireless in this. In this thing right here. I had Ultra Balls. I started out with 999 Ultra Balls, 999 Dusk Balls, 999 of pretty much everything. Because I'd bought so many Pokeballs, the guys at the local store had been like, oh, here, let's throw in 100 extra Premier Balls just for the lulz. That was what I wound up catching Virizion in. One of these stupid things right here. You could have had any Pokeball you wanted, dude. Any Pokeball he wanted. What did he settle for? The white one. The most generic looking Pokeball, even more generic and less colorful than the standard red and white Pokeball. What the heck, man? What the heck? That's just Virizion. The last one is Keldeo. Let me put this back before I accidentally release Dio. That wouldn't be very fun. Yes, I have caught Dio. If you guys would like to know more about that, I have a video on my TikTok detailing it. But anyway, Keldeo. Keldeo, my boy. This man settled for a netball. Now, it makes some sense because he is a water type. By the way, he is shiny locked. So if you're shiny hunting the legendaries, you are never going to find a shiny Keldeo as of now. He's shiny locked. You can't find a shiny version of him in Pokemon Sword and Shield. If you have one from another game that you use Pokemon Bank and Pokemon Home to transfer over, that should be fine. He's not going to mysteriously disappear when you try and get him in the game. But as far as catching a shiny Keldeo goes, you're not going to get that. It's just not going to happen. So anyway, this man settled on a netball because he is part water type. And that still took me forever. Again, went in with 999 netball, 1 million close combats over a single Sacred Sword. Because my biggest issue, I don't know how it is for you guys, my biggest issue catching the Swords of Justice in Crown Tundra was they kept Dungeon Master, you legend. Look, my nose is on, where is it? There it is. My nose is on, oh, it's not anymore. There's a president in front of my face now. Anyway, thank you so very much, dude. Thank you, seriously. I would get them down to 1 HP using False Swipe, which my Ruby knows, my Sizor knows that. And they would just keep spamming Swords Dance. Yeah, Swords Dance. They would just keep spamming Swords Dance. And then they would hit me for one. Now, I'm obviously good friends with my Sizor, which means that she's more likely to dodge attacks. She's more likely to, I found out recently, snap out of confusion. She snaps out of confusion sometimes on the turn that she gets confused because of the relationship that I maintain with her in the game. Like, I constantly feed her curry, constantly, throw the ball back and forth, whatever. So that's a good thing. I highly recommend doing that, by the way, especially if you want to play competitively, because that, anyway, that, it was just an absolute nightmare. The Swords of Justice would spam this is important to know for anyone who hasn't done this yet. All right, don't try and shush me or anything like that. This is very important if you want to catch these Swords of Justice, which I did because I'm trying to actually complete the Pokedex for once. As dumb as that might be. But this, the Swords of Justice would just spam Swords Dance, and then they would use one either close combat or Sacred Sword or whatever the other one is. And it would bring poor Ruby down to red health, which means she would be about to cry, according to the little scroll of text at the bottom. She would be on the verge of crying, which means I would have to, rather than throwing another Pokeball, use a full heal, which are not cheap, by the way. Use one of my many full heals, bring Ruby all the way back up, only for it to hit him again, and then I would just have to do this for 5 or 6 more turns before before they would eventually go back to just spamming. They would still not NPC. Is it the NPC? I don't know. The game itself is not very smart because they would continue to spam. I appreciate it because it was more chances to throw a Pokeball. But they would spam Swords Dance even after their attack couldn't go any higher. So anyway, whatever. Moving on to something else differently here. Reggies are no different, by the way. Reggies are just as notorious. Do you like anime? And if so, which anime is your favorite? That is a question I get very, very often. Ditto, do you want to go ahead and address this one for me? Because I'm tired of answering it. Yeah. Oh, shut up. No, I do not like that one. No. That fan base is toxic, all right? I am not part of that. I am not in that group. I haven't even seen the show all the way. I've seen clips on Instagram. You've seen clips on Instagram. Unless you're doing something that I don't know about. Like, no, we're not into that. Okay, don't listen to them. I am not a part of that fandom. I don't even like that show. Which honestly, that's probably going to get me in trouble. Anyway, no, tell them something else. You guys, you know what I like. I'm not the biggest anime fan out there, but I appreciate the art. No, you can't go with Akira. Everyone says Akira. You can't go with JoJo either. I mean, both of them are great, but great in their own way. It's anime, you know, you got to get into it. Not like how people say, oh, the Clone Wars is great. You just got to get past the first 3 seasons. Then it stops being janky. Yeah, but the characters still look hideous. Even so, it's not like that. It's not quite like that. But, you know, anyway, yeah, these shows are a little different. No, yeah, don't do that. Tell them what my real favorite anime is. All right, just do that. It's not that hard, dude. I literally mentioned it last time we streamed. Yes, thank you. It's not that hard, right? Okay, there you go. That is that's my favorite anime, as Ditto mentioned. So, that being said, we are running short on time, ladies and gentlemen, because I only have an hour to stream at a time on Fridays before I have to get back to real-world problems, because those Pokeballs are not empty. There are things that live in them, and they need food, and they need more than just a quick curry session and then throwing a ball every once in a while. They actually need to be maintained a little bit more than that. Anyone who has a real-life pet can mention that. Anyway, happy Halloween to everyone. We're not closing out just yet. I'll take like 3 more questions and then we'll move on from there. But this is just, I just want to do something a little bit special for once. I'm going to start calling this, I can't call it therapy time because that's Davey 504. I do want to call it just your one-on-one. Let's call it your one-on-one. Let's pretend for a second that it's just you and it's just Ditto and I here on this live stream right now. There's no one else here. It's just the 3 of us, all right? Because you got to offset it. It's weird if it's just one-on-one. So imagine it's just the 3 of us. I am not your therapist. I might not even be your friend, but I am your dang professor. So because I am your dang professor, I feel completely verified in giving you some advice. Now, my advice is this, and this applies to everyone I've ever interacted with on social media, but namely you. If you want the first-person experience, head over to YouTube. I'm going to be talking into the YouTube camera for the rest of a little bit here. Then we'll get to those 3 questions, and then we'll call it. I've noticed that you are extremely, extremely hard on yourself. Like you are, I don't know exactly every detail that's going on in your life right now, but whatever is going on, whatever you should or should not be doing, you seem to just, I don't know if you enjoy it or what, but you really like ripping yourself apart. You talk about how stupid you are sometimes, not all the time, but definitely personally. You enjoy, you laugh at jokes about suicide, about ending one's existence. Call it game ending, of course, but it doesn't make it any different. Like that's be happy. Then there are 3 simple things you can do. Clean up your living space, your room, your office, whatever it might be. Clean that up. You know, vacuum if you have to. Fold those clothes that have been there forever. Finish that project that you have laid out on your desk or whatever it might be. Just get it done. Get it out of the way. Do your best, of course, but clean up your living space. That'll make your attitude a little bit better. Next thing you need to do is put your phone down every once in a while. Just leave it behind. Give yourself short, frequent breaks. Turn all the screens off. If you can, go for a walk outside, walk around your home, wherever you might be. If you're in a jail cell, then just pace around the cell. It doesn't matter. Get some exercise. The third and final thing is talk to someone that loves you, that genuinely loves you, that knows you personally. Maybe you grew up with them. Maybe they grew up with you, whatever it might be. Talk to someone that loves you. They will help you. Those three things, that's a surefire way to help you be a little bit happier and hopefully help you course correct a little bit. Stop being so hard on yourself. Summing all this up, stop being so darn hard on yourself. You should have your own back. No matter what mistakes you make going forward, you are not the sum of your mistakes. You are the sum of every decision you've ever made. And I'd be willing to bet that you've made more good decisions in your life than bad, whether you remember them or not. So keep going. Move forward. Stick with it. Life will get better. It just takes a little bit of time. And as hard as things might be right now, just remember, it could always be worse. And yes, I have that sign. It actually says on the other side, ask me about Pokemon, which was part of a video that never came out. But I also keep this other side right here, just in case. But seriously, stop beating yourself up. All right, rapid fire, 3 final questions, and then we are closing out this episode of the Professor and Ditto Show. So either platform, ask away. If I don't get any questions, then we'll just go ahead and close it out. You've got 5 seconds. So throw a question in there. It can be anything. You can ask me about personal advice. You can ask me about relationships. You can ask me about Pokemon, obviously, because I am very well versed. I don't just wear this for the sake of wearing it. I do know my stuff. Next question. First of the last 3 questions. Do you like Torterra? I adore Torterra. I really do. I love Torterra very much. It's it's a fun Pokemon. I really do. I think it's rather solid. And if anyone follows me on Pokemon Go, you know that I have a shiny Torterra that I like to flash around a lot. I reposted my costume on this account. Excellent. Not a question, Ferris, but I will count it. Final question. I sent 4.5K likes. Well, Johnny, why not 4.6K likes? But anyway, thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me for this episode of the Professor and Ditto Show. If you guys are not supporting us over on Patreon, I highly encourage that you do. If you feel like you've got at least $2 worth of entertainment out of what you've seen today, then please, there's a link in my bio, in my description, on my profile, whatever it might be. Okay, I'll address that one, Johnny. Chicken nuggies or chicken tenders? I'm a chicken nuggies person, hands down. But, I mean, if there's chicken nuggies and chicken tenders on the table, I'm taking them both. Anyway, thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Professor. This is my assistant, Ditto, and thank you so much for joining us for today's episode. Hopefully this closes out. No, if I remember correctly, I pressed that button.